Hi, this is Kasian, and it's time for our weekly conference call at VectorspaceAI. We'll start with two global headlines. The first one will be GameStop, symbol GME. And this is a global headline, a global event, because it has reshaped global markets, and we'll go into that in a bit. Secondarily, there are continuing virus mutations. And these are being dealt with vaccinations that are happening. And these vaccinations are increasing, and death rates are dropping, and infection rates are dropping in the United States and around the world. So that's good news. On the themes and events side, clearly GameStop, GME, that was the basket that we generated based on the theme GameStop. Based on the theme related to a short squeeze event, which is essentially what it was. And as GameStop rose, so did our basket of stocks related to GameStop. They rose by 18% over a few days and then 33%. And we mentioned this last week, but this week we reversed those trades short. So we'll update everyone on the performance of that basket, the GameStop basket, coming up. But that is the only theme and event that we've been paying attention to, along with the rest of the world this week, and all the implications associated to it, which are far and wide. We'll discuss in our strategy section. On the industry side, it's all about natural language processing, language models, and bots right now, distributing misinformation on the net. And of course, that means across social networks and forums and so forth. BTC, ETH are in pretty flat trading ranges, with the exception of a small spike that occurred based on the GameStop event. And the Dow has been in a flat trading range as well, hitting around 29, 30,000. The high 29s, low 30s. On the corp side, we have been thinking about re-strategizing based on the GameStop event. That's how far and wide the impact has been from this event. It's affected just about every publicly traded company in terms of how they look at their cap tables, in terms of short interest on their cap table, and how that might impact their price, valuation, their ability to raise capital. So we have to do the same thing, except that we are not worried about short interest on VXV. Hopefully we will be in the future. We invite shorts. We understand that they are used as fuel. And in our case, we look at retail offerings. What retail offerings we've talked about in the past with the public related to smart baskets. This is in fact how we started as Vectorspace, offering smart baskets to the public. These would be baskets, thematic baskets of uncurated cryptos. And as time went on, we began to see that crypto needed to decouple or sectorize itself before these baskets became effective. And then there was a downturn in the crypto markets, of course, and so we decided to focus on enterprise and institutional customers. And here we are today, looking at focusing on retail traders. Last week, we'll talk about this in a bit as well, but last week we mentioned something related to retail in terms of our focus, which we'll address later. On the engineering, product, and ops side, again, we are looking at our retail product offerings based on the GameStop event. And on the customers, partners, and collaborators side, again, this relates to a shift in strategy related to a retail focus, and we are in the fortunate position of having customers like CloudQuant and S&P Global, who service retail traders and institutional institutions. On the CloudQuant side, they have 400,000 traders, retail traders, institutions, and asset management companies. And we now intend to put a little more weight, a little more focus on a retail product offering related to our datasets. And this just wouldn't be allowing datasets to be accessed through an API, updated datasets, but allowing signals to be accessed through the API. So instead of a raw dataset being integrated into a data engineering pipeline, a raw dataset would be able to be queried for a signal or for a theme or a basket or a group of stocks or cryptos related to an event. So essentially, you'd be able to pass a global event, a topic, or a URL, or a string of text into the query interface, and the data set would be queried and return a correlated group of stocks or crypto to the term that was queried. So that's how it would work on the API side. But that's what we're looking at in terms of offering retail traders the ability to just simply, and these are algo traders. These are people that know how to code a little bit in Python and know how to access APIs. For a trader that is purely retail, that just wants an interface, a user interface, we're going to work with exchanges to integrate our API so that their retail traders have access to thematic baskets and the ability to filter them, of course. We've talked about this with CoinMetro, and that's on the crypto side. But we do know that in order to make this a successful retail product, we're going to have to enable one-click basket execution. So we are working that out right now. And that's on the purely retail side where only a UI is needed. On the other retail side, we've got individual traders writing chunks of Python or talking to APIs. We'll be servicing those immediately through CloudQuant and through S&P Global. So S&P Global provides data sets to anybody, and if you are an individual, they do have plans for individuals in terms of accessing data sets. Retail traders. And they also offer a lot of bundled solutions, retail trading solutions, with customers that integrate S&P data. So we would be talking with customers of S&P Globals who have integrated their data, who are also looking for thematic baskets or enabling their retail products with thematic baskets. On the customers, partners, and collaborators side, everything is ongoing with new data as well. We'll have updates later on that. On the sales and marketing side, again, we are looking at a retail strategy there, in addition to our institutional and enterprise strategy. And it's probably worth mentioning right now that if we do not mention something in a conference call, it does not mean we have pivoted away from it. We've got a lot going on, and we try to keep things succinct and mention deltas only. Next, we've got questions from the trader base. And we usually have this right before strategy, but there's a reason we're going to go through this now. The exchanges and IR side is just a little more exciting at this point. Questions from the trader base. The first question is, do you continue to work with Elastic? Do you get income from them? Well, we do continue to talk with them. We're still in dialogue with them. We're still in dialogue with Sean over there. And we are not taking income from them, as it was asked here. We do not generate revenue from Elastic right now. Elastic was a longer path to revenue than any of the other paths that we've pursued so far. So we thought that we would put Elastic on hold and reduce our engineering costs and resources, and focused on quickest path to revenue, which included enterprises and institutions directly in the financial space. The next question was Colgate or Procter & Gamble. It was Colgate, discussed too at some point in time. Yes, Colgate Palmolive was discussed. And the reason for that is they signed up to test out a data set on trial, and we told them that we were booked. And the reason for that is that companies like S&P Global are a quicker path to revenue for us and a higher value target. So we decided to focus our priorities, or reprioritize in that order, for those reasons. The next question is, do you guys have alt accounts, data accounts from Twitter/Reddit to track Reddit/Twitter baskets/counter trades? If so, could you explain this? Seems like a massive opportunity. I know they have all kinds of trading bots, but being able to create good data sets seems like it would be invaluable. So this is actually how we started. We started offering smart baskets in addition to a search interface that enabled you to gauge how strongly the positive sentiment was around a crypto. So we would crawl subreddits, we would crawl forums, we even crawled Bitcoin Talk at one point, and a lot of noisy Twitter feeds. And what we found was what you usually find when you crawl social media for indicators, and that is you usually find that they are lagging indicators or trailing indicators. So we are looking for leading indicators. Leading indicators enable you to predict. Now, there are valuable signals that can be gained from analyzing social networking content, and those would include signals related to context-controlled sentiment. So not just understanding if something has negative sentiment or positive sentiment, but understanding if something has negative sentiment in the context of geography, or in the context of money, does it have negative or positive sentiment? Or in the context of chocolate chip cookies, does it have negative or positive sentiment? So that's one thing that can be gleaned, and we do have systems in place to do that. So we do have the ability to assemble data sets, and right now we are going to pay attention to the revenue, and that comes from customers. So any high value customers that request anything like this, if they do, then we will move resources toward that. The next question is, how did the meeting on the 7th of January go with hedge fund Schoenfeld, LLC? So Schoenfeld is a quant fund that is interested in our data sets. We don't know when they're going to begin a trial. We'll keep the public updated on that, and we've got several others. So right now, again, we are balancing a retail strategy with an institutional strategy. Our next question is, what about Publicis? They were mentioned as a customer last year. Haven't heard this name in a while. So they fit in the same bucket as Colgate Palmolive. And the reason for that is based on quickest path to revenue. The next question is, you have mentioned that revenue quarterly reports will be disclosed sometime in the future when certain milestones are met. Can you give an expected period for these reports based on current progress? Yes, we will definitely provide these reports. We will provide guidance and reporting, standard reporting, industry standard reporting for any company that has a publicly traded vehicle associated to it, once we've achieved consequential revenue. Next, we'll move to the exchanges section. And right now, we have no updates, no direct updates in terms of any dates on listing. We can tell you that Kraken has been in touch with CloudQuant to request that CloudQuant be introduced to us along with our datasets. So we'll be talking, of course, with Kraken about generating thematic baskets related to their trader base, their customer base, all retail. On the IR, PR, and Marcom side, we have a focus on S&P Global right now and understanding what it takes to move forward with the showcase of our data sets and having them go ahead and announce that. So this is really our laser focus. We don't have much that we're looking at outside of that right now. The only other thing that would move into our scheduling with S&P this month would be CloudQuant, and if they needed to reserve time from us to work on the webinar. CloudQuant also has several other companies that have requested data sets from us, so we'll be working with CloudQuant hopefully to have them announce a week outside or a week around S&P Global's announcement that our pharma data set would be available to their 400,000 customers. Next, we'll move to the strategy section. So last week, we talked about releasing the coronavirus basket, the visualization, the animated visualization. And we are going to release that. We needed a few days to gather a few more data points on how we can refine the visuals. Now, news cycles have prevented us from doing that. The news cycles were related to GameStop, GME, and we have had to work around these news cycles. These news cycles related to GameStop have changed the market. They've reshaped the markets. A case in point would be looking at ourselves. The markets can change drastically any given day. Everyone knows that. Last week, we were saying that retail, or we're not servicing retail as much as we would want to because we look at the markets as being toppy and frothy, and we're looking at a downturn, and we're looking at empowering the retail trader, during the downturn with short side baskets. Well, things have changed, and just as market conditions have changed, to put it lightly, we adapt to those. And we have mentioned this before, adapting to news cycles and market conditions. And if the market condition has changed in terms of really the floor being lava, the market has changed right out from underneath everyone's feet here in terms of the dynamics and how trading vehicles actually work. So we are going to shift our strategy. We're going to course correct, and we are going to have a focus on offering retail tools and instruments and products. And this is but we have a responsibility, in fact. We have a responsibility to our stakeholders to capitalize on an opportunity like this. So that's why we're doing that. That's why we're going to do this. So if we look at GameStop, we look at the trading range. Actually, I can take a look at it right now. So GameStop, GME, the symbol again, just in case you don't know already. On January 21st, GameStop was trading around $40 a share. It closed January 22nd at $65 a share. January 25th, it opened up at $96 a share and closed at $76. On January 26th, it opened up at $88 and closed at $147. January 27th, it opened up at $354 and closed at $347. And then January 28th, it spiked up to $483 at the day high, and then settled to $193 January 29th, opened up at 379, closed February 1st that's today, at 225. After hours, let's see what it was. After hours, it closed at 215. I think it was down to 189 at one point. At any rate, we reversed the trade on the GME basket, and we'll report on the performance of that shortly in the next few days. We'll report it on the main public channel. So paying attention to what's happening in the traditional markets with this GameStop event is beneficial to those in the crypto markets. Some might ask why. Well, what we're looking at here, what we're witnessing, are the traditional markets fusing or hybridizing with the crypto markets. A spike in GameStop on the 25th of January correlated to a spike in several cryptos. The GameStop event also connects to hedge funds, and everyone knows how hedge funds connect to Datasets. It also connects to short selling. In the future, short selling will connect a lot more than it does to crypto than today. That event, the GameStop event, connected to global markets. It connected to social networks, in particular Reddit. Financial networks called this the Reddit rebellion. This also goes to show you where the people are. And if you pay attention to where people are today, they are on Reddit. This is why we pay attention to Reddit. There was a focus on the DTCC as well. And this organization clears quadrillions, literally quadrillions of transactions. And they have a double spend problem. One of the reasons for that is multiple share certificates can be floating around. Synthetic shares can be floating around. This means that if a company has 100 shares, there could be 500 shares sitting out there. If they have 1 million, there could be 5 million. If they have 50 million, there could be 500 million floating out there. Based on the fact that synthetic shares can be traded based on naked shorting. And the DTCC is tracking this. This is what they're supposed to do, but they also allow this. So we're going to see some regulation come up the pike here that's going to change a few things. And again, like many have said, level the playing field. And we know that crypto is all about leveling the playing field. In fact, this is the reason we got into it. We got into crypto is because we had issues with the DTCC and shares being printed, synthetic shares being printed against our own security when we were traded on the OTCBB, on the US public markets. So if the DTCC would only solve its double spending problem using blockchain, that would be a huge boon to crypto, of course, as it is the largest institution in the world in terms of financial transactions. The GameStop event, of course, affected retail trading. It affected Robinhood with trading halts, something that rarely happens in crypto and certainly does not if you are in control of your own wallet and it's not on an exchange or in someone else's hands. 1 share of GME was allowed to be purchased yesterday. Today, 20 shares of GME, GameStop, was allowed to be purchased. This has caused immense amounts of problems and contention in the traditional financial markets with large groups of people. The number of people using Robinhood right now is a lot more than I think most people realize. It was described on CNBC. Ja Rule was on CNBC. And when you've got Ja Rule describing Robinhood as being a stock market in your pocket, you know that retail trading is a force to be reckoned with. And this is why Robinhood spent the last 24 hours raising $2.4 billion to cover trading. to make sure that they had enough capital to meet regulatory requirements so that people can buy and sell GME. There have been some other theories related to this, and we're not going to get into all of that right now. What we will say is that this connects to Vectorspace in terms of natural language processing, bots, synthetic accounts, and magnifying, using synthetic accounts and bots that use natural language processing, like really good chatbots using GPT-3 or something, to astroturf or to magnify memes or to magnify synthetic messages related to whether or not to buy or sell GameStop. It was such a problem that GameStop's or Wall Street Bets Discord server was shut down, and they had to shut down Reddit's, the Wall Street Bets subreddit for a while on this. And now everyone's looking at this, including cybersecurity professionals, because this has everything to do with influencing large groups of people. Social engineering. Now we look at this in terms of which thematic baskets can be extracted from events like this. And of course, cybersecurity is one of those overarching baskets that would include subcomponents. So if you're a crypto trader, how do you make money on all of this? All of this, including the inflow of cash and heavy trading on the retail side, translates to the crypto side. Again, you'll note that spike in the crypto markets when GME spiked. And then, of course, if you are a crypto trader, CloudQuant will be offering services to crypto traders and retail traders, further fusing the traditional with the crypto markets. If you're a data engineer or scientist, how do you leverage the data to extract context-controlled sentiment? Well, again, our partner CloudQuant will be releasing datasets that will help in that area. We'll be using CloudQuant to empower the retail trader. So how fast can we get to retail trading? How fast can we get to offering a product to retail traders? What are the roadblocks? Those are the things that we'll be working out. We'll have updates on those during our next call and throughout the week online. On a different note, slightly related, you might ask, if you are an ARK investment advisor, if you wanted to build your own ARK investments, let's say, which cryptos would you choose to own for your own crypto ETF? And if you don't know who ARK Investments is, it's very important to look that up. It'd be worthwhile. This would be a good exercise as well in curating thematic baskets of cryptos. This has been a pre-recorded call. If you have any questions, please feel free to send them to us online. Thanks for joining.